Hi Hind and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narsimhan coming to you live from the CNN News 18 and Federal Bank Prime Time studios. In the current Olympic cycle, ladies and gentlemen, the government has spent 470 crore rupees across 16 disciplines. That's what Sports Minister Mansukh Mandavia has said. The centre has helped athletes by arranging the best coaching and support staff, along with undertaking a number of other steps to empower them to showcase their best efforts in Paris. Apple iPhone exports in April-June quarter of 2024-25 have hit a new milestone, accounting for 79% of its total freight on board value production in the country, totaling $3.8 billion, and according to data provided by the vendors to the government. Now, with this, Apple Inc. is within touching distance of fulfilling its commitment to the government under the Production-Linked Incentive or the PLI scheme. The government will offer a subsidy of 2.35 rupees per kilogram for Bharat Atta, which would mean that the effective issue price for such atta for the Food Corporation of India or FCI is 20.65 rupees per kilogram. For Bharat Rice, the government will hand a subsidy of 2 rupees per kilogram, which would make the effective issue price of around 22 rupees per kg for the FCI. Employment across the country has increased by more than 35% over the last 6 fiscal years to 64.33 crore. As of March 2024, the Parliament was informed on Thursday the total increase in employment from 2017-2018 to 2023-24 is around 16.83 crore. That's what the Minister of State or MOS for Labour and Employment, Shobha Karandalaje, has said in a reply in the upper house. Now, according to RBI Deputy Governor M. Rajeshwar Rao, the Indian economy is an outlier which shows strong macroeconomic fundamentals amidst global challenges such as high levels of public debt, stretched asset valuations, economic and financial fragmentation, geopolitical tensions and risks arising from increasing cyber threats. So all in all, a lot of measures, some not very popular with the middle class, but overall, the government believes we are on the track for taking Bharat towards on the growth path towards a Viksit Bharat. Meanwhile, closer home and another issue of politics, ladies and gentlemen, an organization, a Sangathan that has been at the core of Bharat's social service movement, totally volunteer-based, cadre-driven. Days after the government linked or lifted this entire ban or notification against those who are government employees participating in activities of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, the Madhya Pradesh High Court has backed the Sarkar's move as it heard a petition filed by an Indore resident, Purushottam Gupta, a former union government employee himself. And he, in September 2023, knocked the doors of the courts, saying that the rules that barred him from joining the RSS were an impediment for him to gratify his desires at the dusk of his life. We had an exclusive conversation with the petitioner, but before that, let us quickly take you through the observations made by the Honorable Madhya Pradesh High Court and how the ecosystem that spread misinformation against the RSS stands cornered or exposed today. The Madhya Pradesh High Court made some very strong observations, and have a look at it. I quote, "It took almost 5 decades for the centre to realize its mistake. It took almost 5 decades to acknowledge that internationally renowned RSS or the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh was wrongly placed amongst the banned organizations list. It took almost 5 decades to realize that the ban removal is quintessential. Classifying an organization as don't join organization must be clearly informed by rules of reason. Discretion to classify any organization as a don't join organization can't be according to opinions of those in power. And decision should be guided by law and not humor or preconceived prejudice." Very strong words, ladies and gentlemen. The think tank Center for Integrated and Holistic Studies has shown how the RSS was unfairly targeted and faced several bans for decades. In 1948, the charge against the Sangh was that it was involved in the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi and banned by Jawaharlal Nehru for Gandhi's assassination. But the Indian research think tank's report shows that the RSS was not involved at all, and that Mahatma Gandhi and the RSS shared a very cordial equation and relationship. In 1966, the charge against the RSS was that there was a massive protest by Hindu groups, including the RSS, for seeking cow slaughter ban. Indian research think tank of the CIHS. Its report shows agitation gained momentum, leading to clashes and death of several protesters. The stir did not result in formal ban on RSS, but curbs were imposed. Between 1975 and 77, the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi declared an emergency and banned the RSS on charges of being engaged in subversive acts. The CIHS, its report shows RSS members were arrested and there were reports of torture, fatalities of Sangh members, huge amounts of atrocities. So actually, the charge lies on the other side. In 1992-93, after the Babri structure was demolished, well, RSS was banned on charges of demolition and violence. The research think tank report shows, contrary to allegations, Swayamsevaks undertook relief efforts when clashes occurred. Also, the independent think tank CIHS slams misinformation spread by the Congress over decades. The think tank states that the Congress ecosystem unfairly targeted non-political work of RSS, whose focus has been nation building. The RSS was involved in various social and educational activities, and I'm quoting the report here. The RSS promoted vision of upliftment of society. Many of the former Congress members joined the Sangh's socio-economic and cultural projects that are self-oriented. In fact, there are many Congress leaders, erstwhile Congress leaders, who were part of the RSS. In fact, there are some within the left or the LDF also in Kerala who have been somewhere involved with the RSS. Meanwhile, earlier in the day, we had the chance to catch up with the petitioner, Shri Purushottam Gupta. Listen into an excerpt of that conversation I had with him. मैं पुरुषोत्तम जी आपसे जानना चाहूँगा, आपने ये प्ली जो है करीब 1 साल पहले इसको दर्ज किया था, लेकिन ये कई सालों से आप इसको देखते आ रहे हैं कि कैसे सिविल सर्विस में या गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉयज को आरएसएस से दूर रखा गया है या उनकी गतिविधियों से।
मैं जब सरकारी सेवा में था सेंट्रल वेयरहाउसिंग कॉरपोरेशन में, तो मैंने संघ को नज़दीक से देखा, समझा। और जो सेवा प्रकल्प संघ चलाता है आपदा में, विपत्ति में, सेवा बस्तियों में, सेवा भारती के माध्यम से, शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में, तो ऐसे संगठन जो कि निस्वार्थ भाव से अपना पैसा लगा के और देश की विपत्ति में सबसे पहले अग्रणीय रूप से पहुंचते हैं, तो ऐसे संगठन से जुड़ना चाहिए। पर चूंकि सरकार की सेवाओं में रहते हुए ऐसा बताया गया था कि 7 साल की सज़ा है और 1966, 1970 और 1980 में 3 बार बिगर कोई कारण के प्रतिबंध लगाए और 7 साल की सज़ा या सर्विस से उसको बर्खास्त किया जा सकता। तो मैं चाहकर भी मेरे जो संविधान में मौलिक अधिकार है उसका उपयोग नहीं कर पा रहा था, क्योंकि डर रहता था सरकारी सभी कर्मचारियों को कि सेवा से बर्खास्त नहीं हो जाए या सज़ा नहीं हो जाए। तो मैं सेवानिवृत्त होने के बाद 2022 में सेवानिवृत्त हुआ और काफ़ी अध्ययन करने के बाद सितंबर 23 में मैंने माननीय उच्च न्यायालय में इंदौर में एक याचिका दायर करी। कई लोगों का ये कहना है, आपकी रिसर्च में, आपके शोध में, आपके अध्ययन में आपने क्या जाना, क्योंकि जो नेहरूवादी हैं या कांग्रेस पार्टी से जुड़े हुए हैं या फिर एक धारणा है आरएसएस के बारे में, संघ और उसकी गतिविधियों के बारे में, प्रचारक और स्वयंसेवक के बारे में, जिसकी वजह से ये पहली बार तो नोटिफिकेशन 1966 में आया था। तो उस वक्त के ग्राउंड्स क्या थे और क्यों वो तथ्य से विपरीत हैं जैसा आप मानते हैं? उसको एक्चुअल में ये राजनीतिक द्वेष के रूप में देखते थे कि उनका एक राजनीतिक द्वेष रहता था कि ये संगठन जो कार्य कर रहा है ये राष्ट्रीय हित में नहीं कार्य कर रहा है। तो उनको ऐसा लगा उस समय कि सरकारों को, जो आज संविधान की बात चलते हैं कि संविधान में जो मौलिक अधिकार है या संविधान के विरुद्ध है, उन्होंने इस पर प्रतिबंध लगाया, जबकि संविधान में ऐसा कहीं नहीं लिखा है कि कोई भी व्यक्ति किसी संस्था में जाके सेवाएं देना चाहता है तो वो क्यों नहीं दे सकता है। पर प्रतिबंध लगाया, द्वेष भावना पूर्ण था ये प्रतिबंध उस समय की सरकारों ने लगाया, गलत था निर्णय। और सरकार ने भी, न्यायालय ने भी ये माना कि ये उस समय का प्रतिबंध उन्होंने क्यों लगाया बिगर किसी ठोस कारण के। जब तक ठोस कारण नहीं हो इस पर प्रतिबंध नहीं लगाना चाहिए। पर उनकी राजनीतिक द्वेष भावना रही होगी, किसी व्यक्ति से या संस्था से द्वेष भावना हो सकती है।
Well, that was a short excerpt, but he also said that he's seen many such of his colleagues who were deprived of being engaged with with an organization that they believed always worked in the interest of the country. That's the RSS. Let's go across to George Goodin, political analyst who backs the Congress party, voices the mood and thoughts of the opposition against the current disposition, and Arun Anand, columnist and who studied and understood the RSS quite closely over the years. Namaste and Jai Hind to you, gentlemen. George Kurian, the Madhya Pradesh High Court actually looks at it and says nothing very constitutional about this entire order and this practice. Why did it take them 5 decades is what the court is asking the executive.
Well, Anand, good evening to you, to my co-panelist and to your learned audience. Let me begin by saying that, RSS has been, have an hidden agenda, although they may say, they are working towards the social causes and cultural, but they have a hidden agenda of, getting Hindutva and converting this nation, which is constitutionally governed and under the federal structure. They want to change it to Hindutvavadi and Hindu Rashtra. So we object to that, and the Congress has always been vocal about the RSS ideology and their hidden agenda. That's the reason in the past they have been banned twice and thrice. Having said that, the Congress party, as on date, being a principal opposition party, object to the clause and the order that has come in favor of RSS and the government employees, going and getting involved in their activities, which is really uncalled for. We strongly believe that, once we come back to power, we will look ahead and we will again see what constitutionally and legally we can, get the ban again on the RSS.
Much respect for the courts of our country today. Arun Anand, from the Congress or the opposition backing voice, that they will overturn what the court opines once they, if and when they come to power next, and do whatever is possible constitutionally, but whatever it is, they will overturn this. They have already decided. So the court's judgment notwithstanding. Your thoughts, Arun Anand? The RSS is a Hindutvavadi organization which wants to establish Bharat as a Hindu Rashtra.
See, I think Congress needs to know its history first, because if you start from, if you look at, there is a book called Now It Can Be Told. It has been written by Professor A.N. Bali. Professor A.N. Bali was a professor of English at Lahore University. The book came out in 1949. And in that book he has written, he was not an RSS member, in that book he has written the first-hand account of what happened during partition, and he said that a large number of Congress leaders, when they wanted to save their families in partition, they didn't approach Congress, but they approached the RSS Swayamsevak and RSS helped them. One. Second, Indira Gandhi, she went to Vivekanand Memorial, which was set up by Eknath Ranade, who was a former General Secretary of the RSS, and it's a historical record that when Indira Gandhi went there, there was a meeting there in which Eknath Ranade was present. He represented the annual report of Vivekanand Smarak, and she was very happy about it, and she praised the effort, and her remarks are also there on the record in the visitors book that can be seen. Now let's come to 1980. In 1980, the Meenakshipuram incident happened, in which a large number of Dalits were converted into Islam, and after that, an organization was set up by RSS. It was called Virat Hindu Samaj. It was basically to stop conversions and to create awareness about it. A rally of 5 lakh people was held in Delhi. Who was the president of the Virat Hindu Samaj? Dr. Karan Singh. And who was the general secretary of the Virat Hindu Samaj? It was Mr. Ashok Singhal, who was the Prant Pracharak of RSS at that time. Now let's come to Ram Janmabhoomi movement. Dawood-e-Al Khanna, the first person who came out with the resolution about Ayodhya, Mathura and Kashi in mid-1980s. He was a member of the Ram Naresh cabinet of 1960s and a stalwart of Congress. And another, Vanvasi Kalyan Ashram, which is the biggest tribal welfare organization in the country. It was set up basically after Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla, another Congress stalwart. He had invited one of the RSS Swayamsevaks and inducted him in the government and asked him to set up schools to fight against conversions. And then in 1951 or 52, Vanvasi Kalyan Ashram was subsequently set up. So I think Congress, and last but not the least, in early 1930s, the Britishers brought out for the first time a resolution, an office order that the government employees cannot be part of the RSS. The matter was placed in the Central Legislative Assembly, and it was dominated by the Congress, and Congress leaders at that time ensured that this order, they brought in a resolution to nullify this order. So I think Congress needs to know its history, that how so why all this endorsement of RSS was happening if Congress has got so many issues with RSS? So that's what I wanted to ask.
George Courier.
Anand, see, first and foremost, one has to understand why the Congress party or our ideology is opposed to the RSS ideology think tank. The reason is that we don't want any government employees, especially the civil services and the bureaucrat, because they hold a lot of power within the organization and within departments. So giving such a individual who is at the bureaucracy level, having affiliation with any organization which has an hidden agenda is really uncalled for and dangerous for the Constitution of India. Every government employee should work neutrally and for the larger interest of the people of India, not for the aiming or accomplishing any ideological agenda that they have. That's the reason why the Congress party had ban on the government employees, for their affiliations with any organization. So it's simple as that. So we still object to the fact that this order has come, but we will look into it, the legality and constitutionally how we can challenge it. And we are confident that the Congress party in 29 the Congress party will come single-handedly into power, and we are confident this is nothing but an appeasement to the RSS Shaka Pramukhs and the cadre that the BJP-led government is giving at this point in time, because we are looking at state elections in the months to come, and also the defeat on June 4th, the result which has come, the 240 BJP has been decimated to 240. So these are the reasons why BJP at the leadership level is shaken up, and so they want to appease the RSS, their politically affiliation and the organization which supports them.
Arun Anand.
No, but he didn't answer my questions. I just have one intervention to make. What about Indira Gandhi? What about Dr. Karan Singh? What about the central legislative, your stalwarts who are doing this? And may I add, Mahatma Gandhi visited RSS training camp in 1934 at Baroda. And he was very impressed to see that there is no untouchability. And there is another aspect. In 1948, there is a report in Harijan in which he addressed a meeting of RSS workers at Valmiki Mandir in New Delhi, and where he said that I had visited the RSS a few years ago, and I was very impressed by its work and the kind of work which you are doing. That is why you continue to grow. So, and let me add another point to this. Why this 1966 order was brought? The 1966 order was brought primarily. There was another incident which happened at that time, about which we don't talk much. Indira Gandhi wanted to drag RSS. Basically wanted to ban RSS again because of the growing influence of Jan Sangh, which we witnessed in 1967 elections when Congress was defeated in several states. So in 1966 this order came along with setting up of another commission of inquiry which was known as J.L. Kapoor Commission. So J.L. Kapoor Commission was set up again to probe the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi and the role of RSS in it. This despite the fact that RSS had been absolved of it. So it was a concerted plan basically, to target RSS. And interestingly, in 1969, when the J.L. Kapoor Commission report came out, it categorically said not only that RSS had no role in it, but people who had participated in it, in the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi, they had no ideological connect with the RSS also. This I am not saying. This J.L. Kapoor Commission has said. So it's a 2-volume report. The PDF is available online, so my friends can read that. And just want to, ask this thing that what about, coming back to the why, what does he have to say about Mahatma Gandhi, Indira Gandhi, Dr. Karan Singh?
But Arun Anand, Mahatma Gandhi, Indira Gandhi, Dr. Karan Singh are not government employees. They are not civil servants. They are not employed, they are not union government employees who could come under the influence of the RSS and succumb to their hidden agenda. Arun Anand. That's the counter.
So I think, see, the thing is that you have the Congress of 1970s, 1980s. I'll give you another example. When in 1977, when Janata Party was brought into power, and then Balasaheb Devaraj, the third RSS chief, he held a press conference in Constitution Club. It was his first press conference. It was his first press conference after the emergency. So the journalist asked him that now, Indira Gandhi should be targeted, Congress should be targeted, and, she should be put behind bars. No, but Balasaheb Devaraj said, forgive and forget and move ahead. जो हुआ सो हुआ, देश निर्माण के लिए जो भी करना है आगे बढ़ो, हम लोग अजात शत्रु हैं. Because in Sangh they say the fundamental mantra of Sangh is कि समाज में दो तरीके के लोग हैं, एक वो जो संघ में आ गए, बाकी वो जिनको आना है. So मुझे उम्मीद है कि कुरियन साहब जो है he would also one day. So and there are many stalwarts ideological. Another interesting thing I'll tell you, Mr. Kurian, if you look at the history. In 1951, the Congress trade union wing INTUC, it approached one of the ideological stalwarts of RSS named Dattopant Thegri, who was a founder of BNS. And they told him that he was an RSS Pracharak at that time. They told him, we want you to become the General Secretary of the Central Province Unit of INTUC. So Dattopant Thegri went to MS Golwalkar, was second RSS chief. He said, what should I do? He said, you should go and you should work with them and you should learn basically how the trade unions function. And when you are working somewhere, your loyalty should be there. Your loyalty should not be to it. So Dattopant Thegri was appointed as the General Secretary of INTUC Central Provinces Unit by, INTUC, which was a trade wing of Congress, trade union wing of Congress. So why were you doing all this?
Judge Kurian, sometimes what happens is this attitude of Ajat Shatru. You are with me and you will in future be with me. That's the attitude of the RSS. And now factually what has happened in history has been submitted to you. General Secretary of INTUC, Dattopant Thegri. And now you are saying that if there are civil servants or government employees, central government employees who are affiliated with the RSS, they will do. The RSS prayer starts, it has been composed even before independence in 1940. It starts with Namaste Sadavatsale and to the Matrabhumi. It is commitment to the motherland, sir. So there is a limit to having political fisticuffs and to have a political agenda. And there has to be a limit where you would go beyond the political agenda and look at the national agenda or a patriotic agenda, George Kurian.
Well, Anand, I respect the view.
Yes, please.
Well, Anand, I respect the views from my co-panelist here, Mr. Anand. He's free to keep his views. But having said that, the Congress party believes that not everyone within the RSS has a hidden agenda. A few have a hidden agenda which they want to accomplish, but a few have got associated with the RSS in good taste and keeping that in mind. So that could be the reason, and the actions of the RSS at the national level, which has led to the banning of the RSS and especially the government employees to be associated with any political parties or, for that matter, organization like RSS. So we strongly believe that
George Kurian ji, very spirited in your argument, but it's a little rich coming from a party that you are backing, that is engaging with a political outfit, allying with it in Kerala and Karnataka, whose parent body's stated objective is to convert the state of Kerala into an Islamic state and convert Bharat into an Islamic state in 2047. And you are okay to take their political support. But an organization whose open agenda is to serve the country with no other conversion agenda, you believe that has a hidden agenda. So I think some reflection is required at all places, and there are many other instances where Congress leaders, Congress party, state units and even central units have relied on the RSS and its Karyakartas multiple number of times. And there are many leaders who openly criticize the RSS but perhaps clandestinely solicit their support. But we'll keep that in abeyance for another day. Have to move on for the moment. Arun Anand and George Kurian, thank you so much. Thank you very, very much for joining us. Quickly, ladies and gentlemen, bringing you up to speed on the Kanwar Yatra and what's happening. The Supreme Court has extended its interim stay on the directive for eateries on the Kanwar Yatra route, saying that no one can be forced to disclose names. Earlier in the day, backing the directives issued by the state police asking eateries along the Kanwar Yatra route to display the names of the owners and staff, the Uttar Pradesh government submitted a detailed response before the Honorable Supreme Court. The UP government has said, and let's have a look at it. The UP government said, committed to protect religious sentiments of all, irrespective of their faith or religion. Directive was for the conduct of peaceful Kanwar Yatra. That's the directive. Steps to ensure that festivals of all religions are celebrated peacefully. There is no acrimony amongst various aspects or various parts of society. the diktat only to ensure, and it came after complaints from Kawadiyas, no prohibition on trade or business of food sellers except selling non-vegetarian food. And the name board diktat applies to everybody, ladies and gentlemen, irrespective of who they are. They have to display their true name and not try and play the game of projecting themselves or falsely representing themselves to the Kawadiyas. Meanwhile, extending the stay today, the Honorable Supreme Court said that stay on name display order will continue until Monday. The Uttarakhand and Madhya Pradesh governments have to file additional responses. The stay order will continue till the 5th of August, we are given to understand. Can't force anyone to display names is what the court once again underlined. Let's move on. We got big news coming through. Exclusive inputs coming here on the right stand, shared by our security affairs editor Manoj Kumar Gupta. Is Punjab the new terror infiltration route? That's what we are forced to ask when we get these details. 7 infiltrations were seen along the border village of Punjab. Army and local police are now on high alert. 7 suspects have been seen in Pathankot region. 7 suspects were in civilian clothes. A woman who's a witness claims that the suspects sneaked in from the forest area. A woman witness claims one of the suspects asked her for water in Punjabi, but the dialect was different. Punjab police has released the suspect sketch, and that's what we've got access to, and it's right there on your screens. The visuals of the suspect have been accessed by CNN News 18, and that's the close-up. Punjab police has released this sketch of one of the 7 suspects who's infiltrated through the forest and was spotted in Pathankot area, where a woman is witness to this. Top intel sources have also told CNN News 18 that locals in Punjab are on high alert after terror incidents in the past. Even the agencies are on high alert. Agencies are aware of the Jammu and Punjab turning into be the new infiltration routes, and perhaps there is this entire movement that is happening, Jammu into Punjab, Punjab into Jammu. Easier for terrorists to enter from Punjab and escape to other areas. Jammu and Punjab remain vulnerable, easy for terrorists to sneak in. Punjab police has acted quickly after the input from the woman witness. The exact spot of the infiltration is actually now being identified, and if there is a tunnel or if there is a way that they can they're able to make their way through, that gap is being plugged. Mind you, this is international borders, ladies and gentlemen. Sushant Sareen, Senior Fellow ORF, and Ambassador Rajiv Dogra, former diplomat, with us. We have a series of developments that we'd like to share with our viewers with their expert voices through the course of the next 25 minutes. But first on this, Sushant Sareen, how would you read this?
Anand, it doesn't come as any surprise to me. Look, we've been warning that Punjab is, it's a tinderbox. It's waiting to go up from the Pakistani side. They have they've been at it for decades now, but over the last couple of years, they've found a lot of traction. Given the kind of situation which has developed in Punjab, the kind of normalization of Khalistani politics, whether it's by SGPC, whether it's by other people, terrorists being lauded, all kinds of things starting to happen. Many in the Jat Sikh community and in among other Sikh communities developing this kind of psychosis that there is some kind of grave discrimination, etc., etc. On top of that, the farmers' movement also got mixed up into all of this. There has been complete denial from not just from the government side but also from the opposition side, and of course the usual suspects in the so-called uncivil society of India, which the moment you said that look, there are people with Khalistani affiliations who are now trying to hijack the farmers' protest, they were housed that you are bigots, you are you all kinds of communal rhetoric you are using, all kinds of charges were hurled at people like us. Now, if this kind of an infiltration has happened, it doesn't surprise me at all. We know that there is this nexus between gun running and drug running. We know that there have been discovery of tunnels, which have which has been unveiled in Punjab. We don't know whether these guys have come through some tunnels. Could well be. So basically, Punjab is a tinderbox waiting to go up. The Pakistanis are throwing in their lot into it. Just yesterday, apparently, the Pakistani cabinet, for example, announced visa-free travel, and then especially for the Sikh people of the Sikh community holding third country passports, visa-free travel. Now, who are these people? Canadians,
Yeah.
right? Canada has become a safe haven for Sikhs. The Americans and the Canadians
UK.
seem to be backing the Khalistani movement. The UK also. So basically, the Five Eyes countries seem to be backing it, or at least turning a blind eye or trying to use it as a lever against India. And in any case, Punjab, there is virtually no administration. Nobody wants to invest in Punjab. An entire generation has been ruined by drugs. People are voting with their feet. Everybody wants to get out of Punjab. If they can get out of Punjab and only settle in rest of India, very good. But their dream is to go somewhere into cooler climes in Europe or in some other Western country. Canada is a preferable destination. Australia. So people are voting. The next generation is voting with their feet. There is virtually no industry. There's been a complete deindustrialization in Punjab. Business climate is bad. You have every day you see scenes of lawlessness in the state. Now this is a prime condition for an enemy country like Pakistan to use down on what they've been trying to do for many years.
Yes.
And it is happening at a time when we see a massive resurgence of terrorism in Jammu, where again we had been in denial.
Correct.
We seem to think that okay, fine, if we've done a very good move by diluting Article 370, by making the constitutional reforms in Jammu and Kashmir, we've done a very good thing, and I completely accept that is a very good move. But then we think that we've sorted everything out and things are going to go back to normal. So I would counsel the government that what the Prime Minister said about the Pakistanis, that they never seem to learn their lessons. I would say that the same holds true for us. That we don't learn our lessons.
Can we continue to remain in denial? One aspect. The other thing is, how long will we continue to be reactionary? When are we going to be proactive? This no first use, no first move, this has to stop. Another thing, Ambassador Rajiv Dogra, thank you for your patience. And it started in Punjab from the skies with the drones. Then it also started with Jammu, again in the skies with the drones. The BSF must have shot a few. But while they were busy looking up for more drones, are they digging holes from the ground? Plus, we also showed that they are not only moving arms, they are not only moving heroin, but they are also trying to ferry human beings in some of these drones. We have visuals of that also, where they are practicing whether they can carry a payload of say 50 kilos and what distance. And this is, as the crow flies, exactly about 30 to 40 kilometers. Those are some of the visuals that we had put out of these practice visuals where human beings were being dropped. And this is the practice visuals that have come in from Pakistan, where they're trying to ferry human being inside that drone. And you'll see that man drop in. It opens, a box opens and the person lands. It's a 10 foot, 10 foot jump, and this one is into water. If it is on soft grass, it's practiced. It's also possible. Yes, Ambassador Rajiv Dogra.
Well, exactly. I think your question has also the answers. And really the question for us in India is, if Pakistan is finding multiple ways of increasing its terror optics, increasing its terror possibilities, increasing its terror dimensions, tunnels, drones, using Nepal for infiltration, coming through Punjab, coming through Jammu, various other means, combining terror with narcotics. The question that we must ask ourselves is, what is our response? Do we have these multiple choices and multiple options to respond to Pakistan? Well, I hope history does not repeat itself, and I don't mean 80s and 90s when they made our life miserable in Punjab and Kashmir. I mean from 1947 onwards, when Pandit Nehru thought of going into Pakistan and tackling the terror camps there, and then he sat back resignedly to say that, look, that's not an option I would like to exercise. That's not an option we have not exercised really seriously except once in 1971.
Ji.
So we have to think whether we'll keep on getting wounded or should we have some kind of a response which makes Pakistan realize that it cannot wound us any longer.
But what's the solution? How do we tap the borders? Are we doing enough, Ambassador Rajiv Dogra? And are we not wise enough to see what's happening over the last 24 odd months? They were slow burning.
Well,
it was on a slow burn. Jammu and Punjab have been on a slow burn, and with Punjab they have very clearly, like Sushant Sareen pointed out, tried to bring the state to a level of deterioration where it is easy for any enemy to sow the seeds of rebellion, sow the seeds of terrorism, and send the state into a spiral. Exactly what they've tried to do in Jammu and Kashmir over a period of time, and one day everybody woke up to mass exodus and absolute reign of terror. And they've tried to do this in Punjab in the past also.
I think again we have to blame ourselves for this, because we saw it coming. The moment Americans left Afghanistan, Pakistan was free to turn its attention towards India. The only thing is Americans left very late, so Pakistan delayed its antics. Now, as you said, it was a slow burn, and we should have reacted before the burn started. We should have reacted and woken up when two terrorists got elected in Punjab and in Kashmir. That means they had at least 500,000 followers each, if not more, or sympathizers each, who went and voted for them. But now it is not too late. There are two things to be done. One, we have to rely on our own population, be it in Jammu or in Punjab, that every one of them knows the kind of theatrics that Pakistan and the kind of hurt that Pakistan is inflicting on us. So they will stand up, just like this lady who saw those 7 terrorists. But the more important thing is, why can't we destroy those army posts in Pakistan which are giving shelter to these terrorists and pushing them across? Let's start with that.
Sushant Sareen, agree, disagree? Quickly, sir, I have to take a break, but I would like your... Are we not being... why are we holding back from being proactive? Why should we allow them to gather right at our doorstep and wait कि अब आएंगे, and जब को 2-4 निकल गए उसके बाद एक को पकड़ लिया, and then we say, oh, we caught them. But sometimes these drones have already done about 70 odd sorties. Why are we doing this?
Anand, look at the way we have politicized national security, and on all sides of the aisle, right? Let's look at what the Punjab former chief minister said yesterday. You have a situation today in Punjab where political parties, mainstream political parties, are openly flirting with the terrorists or the separatists, right? You have a government which is in denial, which claims that there is no problem in Punjab. And very clearly, if you please, somebody should look at the kind of opinions which are being expressed, what's happening on the streets of Punjab. When you look at what is being said on Twitter Spaces, what is being said on various other chat rooms, the kind of stuff which is being said, it takes you back to the 1980s. Now, Ambassador Dogra can err on the side of optimism and hope that we don't go back to that. I think it's already too late, because the political strategies of all sides seems to be hedging their bets by playing on both sides of the fence. So when you have political climate like this, for a government to then take the kind of resolute and robust measures which Ambassador Dogra is suggesting is not going to happen, because there is really no...
See, at some points in time, what happens is you got to rise above the politics and do what is in the interest of the nation. Now, right now, see, there is another tightrope walk that they've got to do. Even as we're looking at this entire Khalistan and this Kashmir Khalistan issue closer home, I've got to take a break. When we come back, we'll show you what they're doing in Canada, and we'll take this conversation forward, gentlemen. Stay with us. Another exclusive story coming back when we return. Stay with us.
और यही कोशिश की जा रही है कि जो बीएमसी ने मानसून से पहले जो तैयारियां की थी, हर जगह वाटर पंप लगाए गए हैं, उन सभी वाटर पंप के जरिए से पानी को निकाला जाए। लेकिन ऑरेंज अलर्ट होने के बावजूद भी मुंबई और आसपास के इलाकों में तेज बारिश हो रही है। नवी मुंबई और थाने, इन दोनों डिस्ट्रिक्ट को रेड अलर्ट में रखा गया है। वहां पर भी बहुत ज्यादा तेज बारिश हो रही है कल रात से।
Right, thank you so much for that, Vivek. And on that note, we are slipping into a very short break, coming right back. Now getting some breaking news from Maharashtra. Schools in Pune, Pimpri, Chindwara and nearby areas have been shut today as rains batter the region. Besides Pune city, the order to shut schools also applies for Pimpri, Chindwara, Bor, Vele, Mawal, Mulshi and other areas of Maharashtra. In fact, the Met Department has issued an orange alert for Mumbai and Palghar, and there has been a red alert that's been issued for Navi Mumbai and Thane. My colleague Yesha has more details. Yesha, what is the situation of the rainfall in the region? And now that we see orange and red alert in various places in Maharashtra, what is it looking like for not just the schools being shut, but also for general colleges and offices that will be allowed to function?
So, when you speak of the situation of rains in not only Mumbai but various parts of Maharashtra, as of now, of course, heavy rains continue in most of the parts of the state. Particularly when you speak of Pune, Mulshi area, as well as Baudhan, apart from that Raigarh area, is where we've seen waterlogging. In fact, in several places in Pune, waterlogging is there's 2 to 3 feet waterlogging, where there are several NDRF teams which have been deployed in and around Pune to rescue people. Apart from that, of course, there are we also see that there is a heavy rain alert for the next 48 hours. In the entire state of Maharashtra, in Raigarh as well, we see that heavy rains have been experienced, which is where not only Pune but also Raigarh, schools in Raigarh have also been declared off for today, considering the heavy rains. Yes.
Also, Yesha, what is the situation looking like in Mumbai? Considering a little bit of rain, especially in low-lying areas, really spells a lot of havoc there. It is a trouble for commuters, to say the least. So, what is the situation there?
So yes, of course, there's been incessant rains in Mumbai ever since late last night. However, as of now, schools and colleges have been kept. As of now, there's no holiday declared for schools and colleges. But of course, several low-lying areas, like you rightly mentioned, including Andheri subway and several such locations, they've been there is waterlogging that's been experienced, and such subways have been shut. So yes, though we see that when it comes to local trains, it's the lifeline of Mumbai. That in fact impacts the most. That impacts the commute most in Mumbai. As of now, those are running well, but when it comes to several low-lying areas, there is waterlogging that's already started in several parts of the city. Yes.
Right. Thank you so much for that, Yesha. Let me also take this across to my colleague Vivek Gupta from News 18 India, who's with us.
Back on with yet another mega CNN News 18 exclusive. This input again by our security affairs editor Manoj Kumar Gupta. And this ties the entire K2 narrative or the Khalistan narrative over across to Canada, ladies and gentlemen, in a mega CNN News 18 exclusive. Air India Kanishk conspirator has been seen at the Seek for Justice referendum event in Canada. The convicted AI-112 bomber was seen outside Gurdwara in Canada peddling hate. The Kanishk conspirator was openly spreading anti-India hate. He's been sentenced to prison in 1987 for conspiracy in the Kanishk bombing. The Indian government sources have slammed Canada for providing open platform to these anti-India radicals. Sources are saying, and I quote, separatists glorified in Calgary and Alberta. Calgary mayor was seen at K-separatist events. July 28th event to glorify Kanishk conspirators. Canada promoting anti-India sentiments and no action has been taken. The Canadian Prime Minister must answer how the Kanishk conspirator is allowed to spread hate brazenly. Now the pictures are also there with us. Sushant Sareen and Ambassador Rajiv Dogra with us. Ambassador Rajiv Dogra, how do we tackle this, sir? This is an open platform. Somebody says something against Justin Trudeau, they are arrested, and in no time. And here these are, there you see that person standing there. He's a bomber, he's a conspirator, and they're standing openly outside Gurdwaras. So this is freedom of speech, talking about secession, and those who are bombers. You bomb a plane wherever, you're a convict. And you are given a free run to peddle hate against another nation, challenge its sovereignty and talk about its secession and breaking.
Well, now we have another problem called Canada. So it's no longer just Pakistan, but also Canada, which is bent upon spoiling relations with India and bent upon promoting terrorism. It has not learned from what is happening in Europe or what is happening in Paris today, where saboteurs and probably anti-French elements have combined to wreck the entire train system for a couple of hours. So Canada is going to face something similar from Khalistani terrorists or Khalistani extremists in the years to come. But that does not solve our problem. That does not solve our issue as to what to do with a problem called Canada, because remember when Parliament, Canadian Parliament stood up in mourning, so-called mourning for Niger for 2 minutes, the entire Parliament stood up. So we can't just say that it is only Trudeau who's anti-India. The parliamentarians in general, opposition included, should have searched their own conscience, that should they be mourning a murderer, a terrorist who was declared a terrorist, persona non grata by Canada itself.
Yes.
So there are more than double standards which are operating in Canada, and I think we have to find a fix as to what to do with this particular country.
Now this is Santokh Singh Khela. Santokh Singh Khela is a designated terrorist. He is convicted by the Canadian courts itself on the AI 112 bombing. He is now seen, he is standing there seen, Sushant Sareen. So a terrorist is getting a free run and a nation has designated this person as a terrorist, he gets a free run. A US national who's threatening a Canadian MP gets a free run. In Gurpatwant Panun, he is also designated a terrorist.
So Anand, this kind of stuff only happens when there is official sanction for this. It's part of a national strategy. You don't, flirt or cavort with terrorists in the way the Canadians are doing, unless it's part of a larger strategy. So there is a huge problem out there, and which is why I say it's not just Canada, it's happening in the US. The same FBI, which is so, which acts with such alacrity and gets to the bottom of all terrorism cases in a jiffy, has not been able to find out who are the people who burned the Indian consulate in San Francisco. They're clueless, right? On a number of other things, they are clueless. The same American authorities who would jail a person simply for issuing a threat are actually protecting a terrorist like Gurpatwant Singh Pannu, who has openly not only threatened the Indian community in Canada, in the United States, but has actually threatened to bomb aircraft. They have protected him. Now, unless the Americans are so stupid that they don't even have proper translators who can translate from Punjabi into English, then I can't say anything about them. Then I don't think they should deserve even to be called a superpower.
This mayor of Calgary, Sushant Sareen, this mayor of Calgary, Jyoti Gondek, who's present there, her father is an executive member, high-ranking member of the WSO, which is again a Khalistani operation.
Not only her, Anand, look, there is something very sinister going on. See, all these Khalistanis will go like rats into a hole the day the state cracks down. It is the license which has been given to them by the Canadian state and by the American state that allow them to do the kind of stuff they are doing. Number one. Number two, please remember that these guys have also embedded themselves in the system at the same time. Whether it is Harjeet Sajjan, whether it is Tim Uppal, you name the guys who are, in the front benches of all the political parties, or that clown from the whatever that party is, that Jagmeet Singh fellow.
Jagmeet Singh, NDP.
These characters, they have inserted themselves on the front rows, right? So they are very much part and parcel of the Canadian system, but the state has also appropriated them for its own sinister ends. Now, one is that, but I think, Anand, we cannot absolve ourselves. Our intelligence agencies, what the hell are they doing in Canada? For example, why can't you identify people from the Canadian system and these characters and then crack down on them inside Punjab? How come? And this is what my Canadian friends tell me, that look, you are asking us to crack down on these guys. What are you doing about it? The same people who carry out anti-India propaganda come and party in India every winter, and you allow them, and your politicians are
breaking bread with them.
They are breaking bread with them. They are going to their weddings. These guys are partying. These guys are buying properties. They are doing all kinds of things. They're coming from Pakistan into India. You are welcoming them. You are giving them protocol. You are giving them VIP treatment. Why are you doing all of this? That is what they say. With what face would somebody like me then argue against them? That I know that what the Americans and the Canadians are doing, what dirty games they are playing on Khalistan. But what is my government doing? Why is it so quiet? Why is it, for example, Anand, and I must say this, allow me half. You know, in Jammu and Kashmir now, increasingly we are hearing that there is a back channel which has opened up with the Jamaat-e-Islami, which is the root of all problems of terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir. That because the Jamaat-e-Islami has led somebody up the garden path and promised to become part of the national mainstream and participate in elections, we have said that okay, fine, there's this big, dialogue which is going on to bring them into the national mainstream. Now, unless somebody is really taken leave of their senses, to imagine that a party like the Jamaat-e-Islami, which has been at the fountainhead of jihadism in the subcontinent, right, would be amenable to Indian nationhood, especially in Jammu and Kashmir. But the mind boggles at the very thought that somebody could even think like this. Of course, somebody is going to give me this very glib talk that so did Lal Denga came in, so did Fizo come in, we spoke to them, then they became part of the national mainstream. But they don't understand that Fizo and Lal Denga were a different kettle of fish. This is a completely different kettle of fish.
The motivations of those that you named were different from the motivations of the JEI right now. But Ambassador Rajiv Dogra, how do we respond to this? Internally, we've not cracked down. We've not taken a hard position. We've opened the blacklist out, but we've not said that these are people who will be persona non grata. When they enter, we are not hard on them. What's the answer to this?
Well, I quite agree with Sushant that time is running out. We've already delayed our response or our waking up to the threat. I call it threat because terror in any form, mild or extreme, is a threat not just to people but to the country and also to the security and integrity of the country. I think we are approaching that point where we may be in a panic situation where the number of Pakistani terrorists entering India might increase from 50 to 100 to 200 and we would need a huge part of our security establishment to just counter them. So before that happens, I think we need to wake up and realize and carry people along because unless we inform people of the dimensions, unless we inform them that yes, we have lost so many jawans and so many officers in the last few days and don't keep it all under the lid because the situation is not good. So unless we carry people along, unless we react to the terror which is being sponsored by Pakistan and unless we react to countries
I think
like
we've got to
Canada,
change there very respectfully,
we will
sir.
be in greater trouble.
We need to proact, we need to preempt. That's what we need to do, and there needs to be a very solid shift in mindset saying no compromise when it comes to Bharat's interests are concerned. You've got to protect it at all costs, Bharat and Bharatiya. Thank you very much, Ambassador Rajiv Dogra and Sushant Sareen. Winding up on that note, Brass Tacks with Zaka up next. Stay with us.
The situation in Pune and other adjoining areas has really worsened. Orange and red alerts for Navi Mumbai as well. What is it looking like for this entire week, considering there's one more day for the schools to probably be allowed to not function because of the rain? So what are you learning in that regard?
बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने। देखिए पुणे में कल देर रात से काफी ज्यादा तेज बारिश हो रही है और इतनी ज्यादा बारिश होने की वजह से पुणे कलेक्टर ने डिसाइड किया है कि सभी स्कूलों को अब पुणे में बंद कर दिया गया है और पुणे डिस्ट्रिक्ट के जितने भी आसपास के इलाके हैं वहां पर फ्लडिंग हो रही है। फ्लडिंग की वजह से रोड और घरों तक पूरा तरह से पानी भर चुका है। लोगों को काफी ज्यादा परेशानी झेलनी पड़ रही है। इसी वजह से अब पुणे कलेक्टर ने एक एडवाइजरी जारी की है और साफ तौर पे कहा है कि पूरे पुणे डिस्ट्रिक्ट में रेड अलर्ट घोषित कर दिया गया है। सभी स्कूलों को बंद कर दिया गया है, जिसके बाद जो भी इमरजेंसी काम ना हो वो अपने घरों से बाहर ना निकलें, क्योंकि सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट बात यह है कि खड़क पासला डैम से 40,000 क्यूसेक पानी को छोड़ा जा रहा है। अगर बारिश इसी तरह कंटिन्यू रही तो पुणे के आसपास के इलाकों में और भी पानी भर सकता है। यही वजह है कि पुणे कलेक्टर ने सभी लोगों से कहा है कि कोई भी जरूरी काम ना हो तो अपने घरों से बाहर ना निकलें, गवर्नमेंट और प्रशासन की हेल्प करें। और गवर्नमेंट और जो वहाँ के लोकल म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन है वो अपनी पूरी कोशिश कर रहे हैं जो फ्लडिंग एरिया है वहाँ से जल्द पानी को निकाला जा सके। लेकिन अब जो स्थिति है वो ज़्यादा अच्छी नहीं दिख पा रही है। कई इलाकों में खासकर जो लो लाइन इलाके हैं पुणे और पुणे डिस्ट्रिक्ट के, वहाँ पे काफ़ी ज़्यादा पानी भर चुका है। जैसा मैंने आपको बताया कि खड़कवासला डैम से 40,000 क्यूसेक पानी छोड़ने की वजह से जो फ्लडिंग है वो और भी होती जा रही है और पूरे पुणे डिस्ट्रिक्ट में रेड अलर्ट घोषित किया गया है।
राइट। ऑल्सो विवेक, क्या मुंबई की अगर बात करें तो क्या स्थिति है और स्पेशली लो लाइंग एरियाज के लिए क्या एडवाइजरी है?
देखिए, अगर खाली हम मुंबई की बात करें तो सुबह 8 बजे से पहले मुंबई में येलो अलर्ट था, लेकिन कंटिन्यू बारिश होने की वजह से अब जो है वो जो येलो अलर्ट है वो ऑरेंज अलर्ट में कन्वर्ट हो चुका है। और आईएमडी के लोगों का कहना है कि सुबह 10 बजे तक ये येलो अलर्ट होगा। 10 बजे के बाद फिर से मॉनिटरिंग की जाएगी सिचुएशन को। उसके बाद कॉल लिया जाएगा कि येलो ऑरेंज अलर्ट को आगे मॉडिफाई करना है या नहीं। इसी वजह से मुंबई के भी कई इलाकों में बारिश हो रही है, खासकर जो लो लाइन इलाके हैं कुर्ला, चेंबूर, विक्रोली, घाटकोपर, इन जगहों पर वो वाटर लॉगिंग की थोड़ी जो शिकायतें वो आ रही हैं। लेकिन फिलहाल अगर बात की जाए तो ऑरेंज अलर्ट है। जो सबब की बात करें तो मिलन सबवे, अंधेरी सबवे, खार सबवे को बंद कर दिया गया है क्योंकि इस पूरे सबवे में पानी भर चुका है। और यही कोशिश की जा रही है कि जो बीएमसी ने मानसून से पहले जो तैयारियां की थी, हर जगह वाटर पंप लगाए गए हैं, उन सभी वाटर पंप के जरिए से पानी को निकाला जाए। लेकिन ऑरेंज अलर्ट होने के बावजूद भी मुंबई और आसपास के इलाकों में तेज बारिश हो रही है। नवी मुंबई और थाने, इन दोनों डिस्ट्रिक्ट को रेड अलर्ट में रखा गया है। वहां पर भी बहुत ज्यादा तेज बारिश हो रही है कल रात से।
Right. Thank you so much for that, Vivek. And on that note, we are slipping into a very short break. Coming right back. Now getting some breaking news from Maharashtra. Schools in Pune, Pimpri, Chindwara and nearby areas have been shut today as rains batter the region. Besides Pune city, the order to shut schools also applies for Pimpri, Chindwara, Bor, Vele, Mawal, Mulshi and other areas.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree. One tree for humanity. One tree for Mother Earth. One tree for our future. Project One Tree. A News18 network initiative.
Co-powered by. Like the Met Department has issued an orange alert for Mumbai and Palghar, and there has been a red alert that's been issued for Navi Mumbai and Thane. My colleague Yesha has more details. Yesha, what is the situation of the rainfall in the region? And now that we see orange and red alert in various places in Maharashtra, what is it looking like for not just the schools being shut, but also for general colleges and offices that will be allowed to function?
So, when you speak of the situation of rains in not only Mumbai but various parts of Maharashtra, as of now, of course, heavy rains continue in most of the parts of the state. Particularly when you speak of Pune, Mulshi area, as well as Baudhan, apart from that Raigad area, is where we've seen waterlogging. In fact, in several places in Pune, waterlogging is there's 2 to 3 feet waterlogging where there are several NDRF teams which have been deployed in and around Pune to rescue people. Apart from that, of course, there are we also see that there is a heavy rain alert for the next 48 hours in the entire state of Maharashtra, in Raigad as well. We see that heavy rains have been experienced, which is where not only Pune but also Raigad. Schools in Raigad have also been declared off for today, considering the heavy rains. Yes.
Also, Yesha, what is the situation looking like in Mumbai? Considering a little bit of rain, especially in low-lying areas, really spells a lot of havoc there. It is a trouble for commuters, to say the least. So what is the situation there?
So yes, of course, there's been incessant rains in Mumbai ever since late last night. However, as of now, schools and colleges have been kept. As of now, there is no holiday declared for schools and colleges. But of course, several low-lying areas, like you rightly mentioned, including Andheri subway and several such locations, they've been there is waterlogging that's been experienced, and such subways have been shut. So yes, though we see that when it comes to local trains, it's the lifeline of Mumbai. That in fact impacts the most. That impacts the commute most in Mumbai. As of now, those are running well, but when it comes to several low-lying areas, there is waterlogging that's already started in several parts of the city. Yes.
Right, thank you so much for that, Yesha. Let me also take this across to my colleague Vivek Gupta from News18 India, who's with us on the broadcast. Vivek, the situation in Pune and other adjoining areas has really worsened. Orange and red alerts for Navi Mumbai as well. What is it looking like for this entire week, considering there's one more day for the schools to probably be allowed to not function because of the rain? So what are you learning in that regard?
बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने। देखिए, पुणे में कल देर रात से काफी ज्यादा तेज बारिश हो रही है और इतनी ज्यादा बारिश होने की वजह से पुणे कलेक्टर ने डिसाइड किया है कि सभी स्कूलों को अब पुणे में बंद कर दिया गया है और पुणे डिस्ट्रिक्ट के जितने भी आसपास के इलाके हैं वहां पर फ्लडिंग हो रही है। फ्लडिंग की वजह से रोड और घरों तक पूरा तरह से पानी भर चुका है। लोगों को काफी ज्यादा परेशानी झेलनी पड़ रही है। इसी वजह से अब पुणे कलेक्टर ने एक एडवाइजरी जारी की है और साफ तौर पे कहा है कि पूरे पुणे डिस्ट्रिक्ट में रेड अलर्ट घोषित कर दिया गया है। सभी स्कूलों को बंद कर दिया गया है, जिसके बाद जो भी इमरजेंसी काम ना हो अपने घरों से बाहर ना निकलें, क्योंकि सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट बात यह है कि खड़क पासला डैम
News18 and Federal Bank Prime Time Studio.
Good evening, this is Brass Tacks. We're coming to you live from the CNN News 18 and Federal Bank Primetime Studio. On the 25th anniversary of the Kargil War, Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid homage to the soldiers who sacrificed their lives for the country today. And on this day, Prime Minister Modi also chose to defend the controversial Agnipath scheme. Ever since its inception back in 2022, the government has been facing massive criticism from the opposition over the scheme. But today, the Prime Minister not only defended the scheme, but he launched a scathing attack on the Congress party. Prime Minister Modi said that the scheme is to rejuvenate the armed forces and to keep them continuously fit for war-like situations. He went on to accuse the Congress of spreading lies and slamming them for playing politics over national security. The opposition